Welcome to RVing in New England, the nation's only forum that puts you on stage with some of the biggest names in the RV industry. And now your hosts, John DePietro and Bob Zagami.
And there we go.
And
My name
here we are. Just like that. Magic.
I got on first.
Well, you demand, that's part of your contract. You demand that you be the first person on the screen.
Yep. And it's only justifiable that I should be because I had a lawyer that arranged it, and that's pretty good. Hey,
took care of all that good stuff for you.
We want to welcome you to RVing in New England, now in its sixth, going on its seventh year. Can you believe it, Bob?
Nope.
Unbelievable.
Nope. It's just like clockwork. Every Wednesday
night with no rehearsal. Nope. And usually about 2 minutes to 7, we get our microphones right. We get our cameras right. And luckily, we have good guests that take the heat off us to provide excellent content to anyone in the RVing and camping community. And we've got a great guest tonight we're going to talk about in just a minute. We're going to bring her on. And her name is Kate McKinnon. And she is an author and a camper. It's always nice when you have authors and campers in the same person, because you know what? It's so funny. When you look at a lot of the writing about the RV industry, it's written by people that obviously have never camped before because they use the wrong terminology. They call RVs mobile homes and that type of thing. How's your mobile home? Or they call it a Winnebago, which our friends at Winnebago love because that's become the generic thing. But that's going to be cool. And we should tell our audience that we are brought to you by Lee's Auto and RV Ranch in Ellington, Connecticut. And they are really, really nice people. It's a family business. And I don't know if Brian's back from Alaska or Gracie's back from the West Coast trip. But you know what? When you go down there, you get a totally different feeling because it's relaxed. There's no pressure. There's no people that come up to you. And as soon as you drive in the lot, there's nobody on your back saying, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want? And, give us your credit card and we'll show you a unit. None of that stuff happens here.
Great family business. I was down a few weeks ago, and this is what you'll see if you go down there. I mean, this is a full service RV facility. They actually sell pickup trucks, pre-owned pickup trucks, so that you can buy your truck and your trailer. They service everything. They got a 50,000 pound lift, so it'll take the largest motorhomes and everything from small mini teardrop trailers to large motorhomes. They've got it all. So consider them if you're in the market for an RV. They would love to see you. And with that, we will jump back on if I can figure out where they are. Oh, there they are. Okay.
There we go. Hey, while Mark Polk is on, I got to ask Mark Polk a question. He can answer yes or no, however he wants to do it. But Mark, I have a standing disagreement with a fellow RVer with the same motorhome as us, a Winnebago View. And he insists on running the generator in the air conditioner all night while sleeping and without one of those up pipes. And I say to him, you're putting yourself at risk without taking that fumes away from the RV. And one of the beauties of the internet is that you post it on Facebook in the user groups. Some people say, yeah, I do it all the time. Some people say never do it. And I'm going to ask an expert such as Mark Polk, should he be running the generator all night while sleeping and the air conditioner on as well without any protection from CO2?
I suspect Mr. Swenson will also jump in there on it. He might. Okay, Mark says, I agree with you, John. I would agree on that too, especially you never know where it's pumping out or if the wind's going to change direction. It might be going against the RV, and then in the middle of the night it changes and all of a sudden the fumes are coming back towards the RV and get sucked in on your air conditioner. Yeah, I don't think that's too safe. And I'm the least technically qualified person to talk about it.
And we were camping last weekend. At this time last week, we were up in New York State, up in Saratoga, New York. and enjoying the races, and a Beach Boys concert on Thursday night. And,
Chuck,
you know,
check out Swenson.
yeah, I know. You only die once.
I told you you'd chime in. Yeah.
Yeah. And he said, it hasn't harmed me yet. Of course it hasn't harmed you yet. If it harms you, you're going to be dead. But I posted it on one of the RV groups, and I said, "Oh, I do it all the time." And then he saw me again today and said, "See, everybody agrees with me that I can run the air conditioner all night, the generator and the air conditioner, and not have to worry about fumes." And I said, "Well, the fact is, because somebody stated their opinion on Facebook, it doesn't mean it's correct." And let's see what you guys think. Mark has said that, and I think Walter agrees with me. What do you all think? Jerry, you're a camper. What do you think? Do you run your generator all night without an upgrade?
Yeah. Jerry, Dave Cott is there, and they're all traveling. Walter's down in Virginia, having just come back from the Frog Rally.
Oh, Walter, tell us how you liked Sports Time Bar and Grill, whatever it was.
Jim Roy's not traveling. He's got too many Airstreams to restore up there. He had a couple more come in this week on that.
Let's ask Jim Roy, do you have some residual business from the Airstream rally? Were you able to monetize that, pay for your booth by the business that you got out of it already?
Well, I know he's had a couple of people stop by the shop, when they were leaving the rally to check out the shop, and I think he has got some business on it.
Yeah. Now I get a real kick out of this. Kim Foley McKinnon says, "Hi, all. See y'all soon." So, Bob, we are the only show in America where our guest is also in the studio audience before she comes on the stage.
Well, see, she knows that we're both Italian. She knows that we both talk too much, and she probably wanted to remind us that she's the guest and that we're not the guest, and that she is ready. We'll bring her on about 7:15. Really looking forward to having Kim with us tonight. She's got a lot
going. I called her Kate. I called her Kate. I'm sorry, Kate. Kim. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Mark Polk says, I worked on 2 CO cases as an expert witness. 7 people dead from running generator while sleeping. Well, that should be all the answer you need to know.
Exactly. And I remember discussing this with Mark and telling this guy, and he said, I'm from Florida. We have to have the generator on. And folks, all I can suggest to you is this. If you see something on Facebook, in one of the user groups, whether it's the Forest River group, whether it's the Cougar group, whether it's the Montana group, because someone has posted their opinion, it does not mean that it's right. And even in newspaper, radio, TV, I heard it on TV, it's got to be right. Folks, today more than ever, do not trust what you hear on TV.
Right. And Walter's got a very astute statement. He says it just means that some people got lucky. They're still alive. They got lucky doing it. Now, I want to show you the depth and breadth of my technical expertise. Because Mark and Walter, isn't that pipe that you put up above the roof called the Venturi pipe, or is that the one that's in the heater?
Up pipe.
Huh? The up pipe. Is there an official name for it? Ed LaTurco, where the hell you been for the last couple of months? Glad to see you back on the saddle here. He says hello to you too, John.
Oh, thank you. Todd Emerson, fake news.
But it's never fake news at Longview RV. Todd is straight up, and he'll tell you the truth even if you don't like it.
Todd, I'm still trying to get my brother to come over and interview you, which we talked about back in May.
Well, I stopped in to see him and Frank last week. Yeah, I think it was last week. And Todd, I asked him the same question. I says, has Michael DePietro been in here for the interview yet? They said no.
No.
Well,
no.
We'll talk to the boss, see what he says.
Here's another thing. Tsugami, I'm very upset with you.
Oh, good. Why? What I do?
And Todd Emerson, I'm upset with you as well. Was the popcorn machine on when you went in, Tsugami?
No.
Todd Emerson, we have a standing rule that whenever me or one of my representatives comes to visit you, that I've got to have a little bag of that popcorn that you have, that great popcorn machine. It's the closest that I've come to movie theater popcorn ever. So,
all right.
Todd,
So Jim says they had several Airstream rally attendees stop by for a visit, booked a few jobs, did a couple of repairs, and sold an Argosy plus a full renovation on it. Yeah,
well, I would say that was a good return on investment.
I would think so. I would think so. Yeah.
Yeah, because think of all the people that may have met Jim,
Yes, sir.
But because their schedule was not available to leave their Airstream there, they would make alternate plans when they can leave it.
Hey, good quick thing before we bring Kim up here. I've been visiting the dealers the last couple of weeks, and I can tell you that business is brisk. Buyers are still buying, and although some of the lot traffic is down, the number of buyers is up. And I was on a analyst call today, and that's pretty much true across the nation, every section. And you're going to see a lot of big sales coming up. We got a couple of dealers with sales coming up that we're going to be posting because they have a lot of inventory. And they're going to want to buy some more when they go out to Indiana soon. So the discounts are going to start again. So if you've been putting it off because of inflation or high gas prices, get to the dealer. You're going to save thousands of dollars on they probably, this is the best time this year to buy an RV, so they pay attention.
They want to get rid of not older ones, the ones that have been sitting on the lot for 2 weeks. They want to get rid of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, it said
even Bernie, our resident sales rep up at Campers Inn, Bernie says business is picking up, great prices too. That's a great combination with a lot of inventory. So, you go back the last year or two, you went to a dealer's lot and you didn't have much to buy. And if you didn't buy it, the next guy coming in the driveway was going to buy it. And many people purchased. This is a proven fact from all of our conversations with dealers and other people in the industry. Many people purchased a COVID RV. They wanted to have an RV, and they bought what was available, not what they wanted. And I'll bet Bernie would, corroborate this. But so there's a lot of people out there with RVs because they wanted one, but now that they know what to do and the floor plan's not working right, you're going to see a lot of those people trading in. So not only do they have a lot of tremendous new inventory, but pre-owned inventory is going up also with slightly used RVs. So that's my commercial.
Yep. Well, another thing is this. There was talk in 2020 that of all the people that bought RVs, there would be a glut of them on the market in 2021 for the people who didn't like them. That never materialized. And all these studies that RVIA did and other organizations all said that 70 to 80% of those people that were first-time RVers enjoyed the RVing experience and would continue to RV. So
Jim says one of our Airstream ladies is bringing her camper back to us next year for some work and interviewed us for an article in an upcoming girl camper magazine. Hi, Kim. So did Kim do the article, Jim? Because she is. Well, let's do this.
Right.
I got a blank screen here, so let me
bring her on.
See what's going on. Kim, you're up, but the screen is completely blank. She was hiding behind the camera. You're a little bit faded.
Faded.
Yeah. What do you call it? Dull.
Something on the screen. A dull. I mean, Kim, there's something. Clean the lens. Still no good.
Can you talk? Can we hear you, Kim?
I think that you. Hi, guys.
Hey.
I don't know what happened, so I'm going to try again with my camera.
Did you borrow Janine's voice?
Sorry?
Did you borrow Janine's voice?
I did not borrow Janine's voice.
You sound exactly like her.
Well, I guess it's the girl camper voice.
I think it's the thing.
But she programs them in a particular voice. Right, so Bernie said in some cases, yes.
Okay, we just had it a second ago.
We lost you. Kim did an article on us last year.
Oh, this was
This
another
one was another girl camper writer. Oh, okay.
Wow.
That's getting
Jim
a lot of
way with the women.
getting a lot of attention up there, Jim, in the woods.
That's because she thought she was going to a ZZ Top concert up in Maine, and Jim walked by and she said, "I'll interview you, Mr. ZZ."
Yeah. Tim, do you have Bernie thinks it might be an overhead light that's shining too much light on you? Don Polt says, "Hi, Kim, Bob, and John."
And now she's in the Twilight Zone.
Well, actually, we can't hear you though, Kim. What'd you do on your voice?
I'm just literally a goat, apparently now.
Okay.
Are you in a closet somewhere?
I'm not in the closet. Sorry. I will just say two things. I did the article on Jim last year. And then we did do a new story on a girl camper, but I'm not sure who Jim is talking about.
Another woman that has a Airstream. I don't know.
I mean, there's lots of people with Airstreams.
Well, for those who may not know who you are, Kim, why don't you give us a little bit of your background? And
before that, why don't we just have Kim go completely out and come completely back? Because there was a split second there when your picture was fine, but the poor lady she's looking through a keyhole.
That's not bad though. I mean, that's even if I bring her up full screen,
still she's damn dark.
I'm doing the best I can. I'm not in the studio. I'm doing the best I can here.
Her hair's even not white.
My name is Kim Foley McKinnon. I am.
Don't sound so depressed, Kim.
I'm sorry. This is so.
Kim, there's hope.
Okay, I'm a travel writer. I'm the executive editor of Girl Camper magazine. I have several books under my belt. I love to travel. I have a scamp. I love sharing stories about women running around the country in their campers and RVs. And I'm really super psyched to be here. And I'm really glad to see Jim, who I loved interviewing. And I love to see Mark and Dawn, who I work with all the time. So that's exciting. And I'm glad to see you guys.
Did you interview Jim at the shop or just over the phone?
Over the phone, because this was last year, COVID times.
You gotta make a field trip up to Monmouth, Maine.
Yes.
So one of the things that we did want to talk to you about is a little new book. What number book is this for your collection?
This is probably my 10th book.
Is that a bucket?
It is a bucket because it's a bucket list book, right? It's bucket list activities to do.
Okay, that's a pretty mangy bucket.
Well, you're getting towards the end of life. These are all things on the bucket list. So that's for the people that are checking off.
It looks like somebody has kicked that bucket a couple times, and you got it at a yard sale, Kim. Is that right?
Hey, there's nothing wrong with a yard sale, my friend.
I know it. Especially at the Cape. And exactly. You know what? Every Saturday and Sunday in our neighborhood at the Cape, I love all those signs that people go to like Michael's or one of those craft places and get those fluorescent orange cardboard signs and put them up. Yard sale, 32 Prince Hinckley Road, 10 to 3. And then at 2:30, there's a sign that says, "Everything's free. Come this way."
Well, one of the places in my book is the Wellfleet Drive-In, which every weekend has like a flea market. So, and you can find super cool stuff there. So there's nothing wrong with old used stuff.
Nope. Especially that would qualify for DePietro. He's old and used, and he could be the star attraction at the Wellfleet flea market.
The funny thing is that bucket looks exactly like the bucket that I used to take the ashes out of our fireplace at the Cape. And,
there you go.
And one day I had left it outside in the winter. There was water in it. It froze. So now there's a hole in the bottom because it broke. You know what I'm going to recommend when we take our break at 7:30, if Kim just goes out and comes back in, and I think she might appear better because for a split second there, Kim, you were perfect. Colors were perfect.
Right. Why don't we take a break right now? Because, you gotta love the internet. We can give it a shot.
Go ahead. We'll do that. And we'll see what some of the people have posted while you go ahead and do that, Kim.
All right.
Walter says New England. Oh, it's a New England. Walter thinks it's a New England clamor bucket. Actually, that's pretty close. I see them pulling up the clams over here at Pine Point Beach, and they do look a little bit like that.
Yeah,
Don said, a bucket is a bucket, John. That's very profound, Don.
Dawn.
A bucket
Dawn,
is a bucket.
Well, you know what? Dawn has been sleeping with her generator on.
and she just hasn't told.
Really impacted her head. But
Dawn
anyway.
also thinks that Kim is amazing, and she is once we get her back up here.
She looks fabulous. Maybe she's got a better camera.
See, I'm with these guys. Bernie thinks she looks great. I think she looks great on the. I kind of like that dark thing. I might have to play around with that next week.
Yeah.
Well, look at who's back in town. The other DePietro's back in town.
Yeah, introduce him to Todd Emerson. I told him he's not.
So, Michael, I was over at Longview last week and asked them if he had been over to do the interview with them, and they said no. At least I could have covered my rear end if I knew you were out of town. But
Zagami, here's adding insult to injury, because last week when we went camping up to not Lake George, Saratoga, he came along and brought his.
I didn't know he was with you.
Yeah, he brought his.
You're right. I did see a picture of you guys at a restaurant.
He's brought his Dometic stuff that he won.
Oh, good.
That Dometic chair set, and rubbed it in the whole concert. Hey, I got a show. And I said, if you were really part of the team, you wouldn't have been eligible to win. But since you haven't contributed, you're back as part of the general public now. So he could win. So
I see.
He's traveling. Yeah. He's so
Was he with you for the whole weekend or just one show?
No, we went up Thursday and came back Saturday.
Uh-huh.
We had two overnights.
Didn't you go both nights?
Both nights. No, one night for the concert and one night for the races.
Oh, okay. I thought you went to the Beach Boys both nights.
No, they had only one show.
Oh, okay.
One show. He's a fan of Dometic. I think he needs to spell it.
That was like $500 worth of gift items.
Yeah. Wasted on a non-camper.
Well, he can camp in his backyard. Frank Cates says, sitting outside. She's not here yet.
Didn't give him away, did we?
I don't know. Not here yet. Frank says he's outside Hampton Beach campground watching you as the day cools down. Nice. Yeah, it is nice. It's nice up here at Old Orchard too, Frank.
Frank, what? I don't have to ask you. Ask him. I'll ask him. Frank, what campground are you at? Is he at that one there? The state campground right at the southern part of Hampton Beach? The one that you have to not register. What do you have to get your reservation in by January 1st to get it?
I'm not familiar with any of the campgrounds down there.
Yeah.
He says, "Did you bet on the horse I recommended?"
Yeah, and I think Jerry had a comment that I probably can't mention on the air. But we did. I don't bet.
You can say anything.
I don't bet. So it wasn't me.
So why do you go if you don't bet?
Just got to watch people. I mean, it's amazing to watch people. Come on, Kim! Yay! I knew you could do it, Kim.
So I have this fancy camera, and it doesn't work apparently. So here we are.
Well, you are back, looking as good as ever.
Thanks.
Hey, there's something that people should know. You are a travel writer, and you talk about your upcoming presidency. I mean, this is no, part-time writer, folks. This is serious literature and serious publication. Tell us about this little company here, this association.
So I am a professional travel journalist. I've been a journalist my whole career. And I was a hard news journalist, which means I wrote about terrible traffic accidents and all that jazz. But then I turned into not wanting to do that anymore, and went into more food and travel. And the Society of American Travel Writers is the oldest travel writing association in the country. It's a nonprofit. We vet people. You have to go through some hoops to be part of it. And I've been in it for 10 years, and I'm super proud to be the upcoming president starting this fall.
You can take Dami and I to trips, like everything's free, right?
That's not how that works.
In John's world, it is.
We just want free stuff, Kim.
That's not how it works. Sorry.
What do you mean?
Then you get these little PR people that take you around with clipboards and iPads and say, "This is this, right? This is that, and this is
right."
The balcony.
And you have to pay your dues. Yeah, there's no free lunch here.
Well, we're looking for free dinner.
No, certainly no free dinner.
Oh, come
on. No dinner, no lunch.
When are you going to do something like in Newport that you can take us as? We'll be spiritual advisors.
Well, all right. I will.
We could be here. We could be here. Media guys.
We can be your flax.
You guys can get in line with all the people who want to carry my suitcases.
Right. Is it a long line?
It's a pretty long line.
Kim,
yes.
With an RV, you don't have to carry suitcases.
That is true, which is super nice. Which is why I like to bring my scamp along, because I can, stuff that full of stuff.
When Zagami and I were flying out to, where the heck did we go earlier this year? Savannah. Savannah, yeah. And then Elkhart. While we're waiting in the lines at Logan at 4:30 in the morning, I was just taking pictures of crowds and crazy people and saying 92 more reasons to go RVing.
Agree.
But you know what? Look, it's one method of traveling, and there's so many methods of traveling. Kim, do this. Compare and contrast your hotel resort trips to your RV trips.
Okay, I can do that. I will tell you what happened to me with COVID in 2020. When I lost all my jobs and all my international trips, when no one was flying anywhere, I realized that I also didn't want to stay at home all the time. And so I have been a lifelong camper, but I was always a tent camper. And so in 2020, I realized I wanted to be able to leave my house. So I bought a scamp, a tiny little, 13-foot scamp, so we could leave our house and travel around. And what I realized is how great it is. And it reminded me of my youth when I did road trips and was in a tent also and didn't know what I was doing, but I didn't pack that much. Or what brought that back to me is this sort of slow travel and how much fun that is. And it really made the realization that flying is stressful, and getting through security and trying to reduce what you're carrying with you and all of that jazz. It made me realize how much I love road trips and how much I do love to slow it down a little bit. And that was a fun thing for me. And that's sort of how I came to Girl Camper, and made me realize how much I want to share the road trip fun.
So Kim, be honest with me for a second. Okay. Not that you weren't, but we're on a, live going around the world. Were you a hippie when you were backpacking? When you were tent camping?
I'm Gen X, so I don't think I can be called a hippie.
Okay, that's right. Yeah, you're way too young to be a hippie. Way too young to be a. So I'll forget the beatnik part. You couldn't have been a beatnik.
No.
Because there were so many people that when they got out of college, they just picked up, a sleeping bag and a tent and a thumb, and not just in the U.S., but so many Americans that we know that are, friends that just did that Europe thing with the backpack in the hospital.
Yeah, no, I did travel with a tent, but also a woman. So, the hitchhiking thing was not a thing for me.
Yep. So who's Rob? Who's Rob McKinnon?
That would be my husband.
Okay. And he says, tell him what happened in the Catskills.
Are you sure, Rob? Are you sure you want to do that?
He doesn't want to do this, but we're gonna do it. We'll do it. Fine. So we just we went on a road trip to visit my family in Virginia a month ago, and we were coming back. I thought this would be a treat for us. We were boondocking along the way, and I was like, let's go to a campground where we can take showers and have bathrooms, blah, blah, blah. But we decided to go to the Catskills, and we got caught in a torrential, crazy rainstorm. And he happened to be driving, and we're going up and down through hills. And I sort of had a freak out and asked him to pull over. We couldn't see, like blinding rain. So he pulled over, even though he didn't want to, but I made him. And we sort of got stuck and then came back.
Stuck in the mud?
Yes, because it wasn't really a place to pull over.
But you made him.
But you were going to go on the shoulder anyways.
We couldn't see. We couldn't see. Like, we could have maybe driven off the mountain. So pulled over, then he went to pull back over, and we almost tipped over the scamp, but he did not tip the scamp over. It was fine. Okay. And then we got to go see him.
Obviously not. He's still your husband.
Correct. And we got to go see Noam Chomsky, which was the whole point of the story, is that I wanted to go see a roadside attraction.
Did he was he the guy that got stabbed?
Yeah, I can see this. This is probably your sister who is in your corner also telling you to go for it, right?
That's my sister-in-law. That's Rob's sister. So there you go.
Okay. So Kim, Kim, let's get something straight here right now. When you're on a plane, you don't have to know directions. You just get on at Logan and you get off in, Alexandria or
wherever they decide to land.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah. Kim, everybody on this group so far that I look down on the right is very much aware that the Catskills are nowhere near any route from Virginia to Boston.
So no. I'm all about the road trip and the side attractions. Okay. I will go anywhere for a good barbecue sandwich or a giant statue of a gnome.
So if you felt like a steak on the way, you just have them drive to Texas and get the steak and then come back.
Possibly, yes. Yeah. I'm a travel writer. I want to go see things on the route. It's not about A to B. It's about what might be from A to B.
Okay, but
that was another, man. We're getting, these women are giving us all these profound statements tonight,
and it's certainly well known
that A to B, but it's kind of like that. But it might, that's good, yeah.
And it's everybody knows that the Catskills are known as the barbecue capital of the Northeast.
Sure. I wasn't saying that. I'm just giving you an example of what I might stop for. Rob and I also stopped at a moonshine bar. And we also stopped at an alpaca farm.
The moonshine wasn't in the Catskills.
No, that was in Pennsylvania.
I could believe that. Let's take a quick.
What end of radio did you come from?
Before you go, we're abusing our sponsor. So give me your best radio voice, DePietro, if I can find the.
Tim, because you were off for a few minutes, do this commercial because you want to be a multimedia
Oh,
journalist.
yes, the TV personality. Yeah, so do our commercial, Kim.
Sure. Please welcome our new sponsor, Lee's Auto and RV Ranch in Ellington, Connecticut. 9 acres of fun, family owned, 28 years of business, full service facility, 28,000 square feet, 50,000 pound Mohawk lift, and full body shop and collision repair.
Yeah, can you imagine, Kim? They added 1,000 square feet every year they were in business. It's kind of ironic.
Pretty impressive.
It's almost as good as finding moonshine in Pennsylvania.
So were you in Western Virginia, like down in like over Roanoke area, that end, or the other?
Actually, a little bit more southern and western, Greenville, Virginia.
Where's it near?
Greenville, Virginia.
It's about an hour away from Charlottesville.
Oh, okay.
The Turco says Catskills are loaded with history and wildlife.
And barbecue place.
And barbecue places.
And alpacas and lots of hills that want to murder you.
And muddy shoulders on the highway. So Julie says, great explanation, Kim. Must be a member of your fan club.
Exactly.
Plant says the Catskills are the site of one of my early RVing scares as well.
Okay, right. Jerry, go ahead. Tell us.
You want to give us a little hint, Jerry? So let's go back to the book for a minute. And you got all you fans out there tonight. You must have some questions about Cape Cod, but I like to eat, Kim. So what's your favorite?
Here's my book. Here's the book.
I downloaded it on Kindle yesterday, and today I wound up being out with dealers all day and never got around to checking my highlights. But what?
Oh yeah. Let's talk about the Cape.
I know you have a section on food and drink. So where's the best place to eat and where's the best place to drink? Or are they one and the same?
My absolute favorite place, which anyone who's ever read anything that I've written will be bored with, but my favorite lobster roll is from Larson's Fish Market in Chilmark. It's so fresh. They have their own fishing boats. They bring in the lobster. They pick it.
It's on the vineyard, right?
On Martha's Vineyard. Yeah. Yes. Yep.
But how about for us people that can't afford to go to the vineyard because it's $83 one way on the High Line? How about on the main?
It's so hard to choose. So I don't know if you saw my show, not my show. I shouldn't exaggerate. My bit on Chronicle in Boston, but the Pilot House is a super fun place in Sandwich, and I think that it's good for everybody because they have great seafood, but they also have like a vegan menu. So if you have people that don't want seafood, it's super. And they have an indoor and outdoor space. They have music and they have an outdoor bar. And
stop right there. Don Polk, if you're still on, there's another reason for you to come to New England. Don is vegan.
Oh, there you go.
But Mark and John and Bob are
carnivores.
we eat the other stuff. So we
don't look for gluten-free. We don't look for fish-free. We don't look for beef-free.
Yeah. So
neither do I. I eat everything, but I have a daughter who's a vegetarian, and so I keep an eye on things. And when you are bringing people from out of town, or you have guests, you want to let them have, you want to expose them to whatever they want. So that's a great place for that. And you're on the water, and it's beautiful, and you can go for a walk. You can go to the Cape Cod Visitor Center there. It's super.
So let's talk about the book. Let's give away some books. But here's what I want to do, Kim.
Yes.
Because we don't want to give this stuff away beforehand.
Michael DePietro is not eligible to win a book.
No, what I want to do, who's not eligible? Michael DePietro?
Right.
Okay, we'll take Michael out of the mix. So we're going to give away 5 books. So pick a number between 5 and 12. Any number.
This is pretty scientific.
We're going to give whoever is that number in the comments section. We'll go through after the show and pick out who is the winner. But give me a number between 5 and 12.
Are you asking me?
Yeah, they're your books. That's
All right.
so you're gonna get. We got 5 coming, right?
Yep, 5 coming.
We have 5 coming. I'll mail them out from Maine. So all I want you to do is pick a number, and then I'm going to go to that number, and then I'm going to count. So if you say 6, we'll take 6, 12, 18. You can kind of
I'll
figure
do
out
4. How about 4?
4.
Yeah.
Wait,
Did
John,
you say
could you
5 and 12?
clarify that? I said between 5 and 12.
Oh, okay. I
You
missed
said
the
4.
part. All right, fine. 8. We'll do 8.
Bob, she's a writer. She's not a mathematician.
That is so true. That's what I say all the time. 8. We're going to do 8.
She took literature but flunked math. Okay.
So we'll do 8, 16,
Totally true.
8, 16, 24, 32.
24, 30.
Yeah, quick, I rattled those off.
You can count by 8. He's the only
I'll
one.
take your word on those.
8.
Polk, I don't remember asking Don Polk what number we should use.
Look, all of our audience is putting numbers.
Look at this. You should have taken 9.
Yeah, and nobody's got it right yet.
Even the guy who's not eligible to get one puts in 7.
Yeah, and I say unless you have your picture there, you're not eligible to win anyway. Instead of have that
There's
fake.
a lot of
Wait a minute.
rules.
Wait a minute. Don says, John, Chef Boyardee doesn't make lobster rolls.
No, lobster.
Lobster. There's an H on the end of
It's
lobster.
an AH. Exactly.
Right. AH at the end there.
Will you guys let me do one more plug?
Sure.
Go ahead.
All right. So the fall issue of Girl Camper, the last time you can subscribe to the print issue in order to get that, or subscribe to the magazine to get the fall issue, is August 29th.
Which is coming right up.
Which is in 5 days. I
Okay,
can
say
do
what
that.
do you mean by that?
I mean that we, we have a quarterly magazine. And if you want to get the print edition of the fall magazine, you need to subscribe by August 29th.
Oh.
Otherwise, you can subscribe and you can get the online, edition. But if you want the print, which I like a print. Here we go.
I just posted the Girl Camper website.
Paper edition.
It's a beautiful magazine. It wins awards. It is a great magazine. So I just posted the girlcamper.com website. You go there and you should see right away a screenshot to go out and register. And as long as you register by the 29th, Kim, they get the
next issue, which is fall, which will be here in a couple of weeks. Yep.
Who's Lisa McDermott?
She is our director of operations.
That's
You
right.
give operations there? What kind of operations? Like backup?
Website and like all the stuff that money stuff and business stuff that I don't want to do.
we know you don't know that 8 that 4 isn't between 5 and 12. So
yeah, so we're clear on that. So she deals with those things.
Yeah, Lisa's been on before. She doesn't let Janine or Kim come on without watching over them and make sure they're not giving away the store or saying something that's not right.
And she's also our fabulous guide out in South Dakota, and like she says, cat herding. She's a cat herder.
The ratio between RV and RV. Put Ed's thing up there, Bob.
Kim, the ratio between RV and interested RV women.
What the hell?
The hell does that mean?
Also, is that math?
No, that's what the circle.
Oh, ratio. Yeah, ratio. Watch
Ratio.
out.
But I would say that if you don't think that women make most of the decisions about everything,
You're wrong.
you're wrong.
You're right.
You're right. You're right. You're absolutely right. The let me ask you a Cape Cod question. As far as RVing on Cape Cod, have you ever, the Cape?
Oh, wait. He clarified his confusing statement. He means the readers of the magazine. What's ratio is women? Well, first of all, the women get the magazine, and then they let their husbands read it.
I would say that's true, but I would say there's a lot of men. I mean, the magazine, it's called Girl Campers for a point, to say, you know what, we're also here in the RV space. But there's plenty, if not all of the content is applicable to men.
Sure.
Have you had any progressives say to you that the word girl camper is discriminatory, so it should be generic camper?
I think that Janine, our founder, has addressed that. Girl Camper is named Girl Camper because she loved camping as a child and brings the feeling of camping as a kid and as a girl is why she named it that way. It isn't about diminishing anyone else. It's about the joy that she felt as a kid.
Getting for older women, not necessarily real old, but for women to remember their childhood adventures when they were camping, and if they didn't, some neighbor tells them, or some friend or cousin. But that's a peaceful time, and you're trying to bring that into today's complex society and
the feeling of joy of being outside, of camping, of running around, of starting a fire,
right,
and roasting marshmallows and having fun and no stress. That's what that's about.
And a glass of wine.
Yeah, I mean, when you're 21 plus, for sure. But I would say I want to address John's question about camping on the vineyard or on the Cape. I've done that plenty, and one of my most recent favorite places is a Trustees of Reservations spot in Provincetown, which is beautiful and which they have saved. It's near Provincetown. And there's lots and lots of places to camp on the Cape, which are fun.
Carol Thompson chimes in, says, making girls out of women. Nothing wrong with that. And Lisa's got this is one of Janine's favorite sayings. There's no wrong way to camp like a girl. The Carol Campers magazines has articles for 10 campers, car campers, and those who like to stay in cabins or lodges. And some drive big motorhomes too. I've seen the big motorhomes, and somebody posted this week a big fifth wheel that they were towing around with a big pickup truck on it. Yeah, absolutely.
I think we're presupposing that our audience knows the whole story behind how Girl Camper was started. But Janine told us this. What have we known her? 10 years now, Bob? Something like that.
From day one, we were one of the first media groups or guys that discovered her just about on day one when it went public, and I had her on some of the shows, and we have a great relationship. Yeah, why don't you give a recap on Girl Camper, because you are the Massachusetts State Director, but in that capacity, I don't think you've named anybody else in the other New England states, so you kind of handle everything, right?
I do, but I'll say Janine Pettit, she started Girl Camper many years ago because she wanted to get out and have fun. She bought a camper. There were not a lot of resources for her or women. She started a podcast sort of on a whim. Then she started a website. Then she was like, we need to bring in more women. She started state guides, wanting to invite people to have events and help other women go out and camp. And then in 2020, of all years, she started the magazine. And it's really just for her a movement to educate women, support women, help women get out there and as we say, go places and do things.
And I think it's important to point out that Kim is in absolutely no way anti-man.
No, I have a husband.
Right.
It's
she
fine.
has a husband who just, as she said, who just, he's not adventurous. He would rather
No.
Wait a minute. The guy drives through the rainstorm. You can't see out the front window.
No, I don't mean Kim.
Pull to the side of the road.
I don't mean Kim. I mean Janine, whose husband is just, he's not a go out guy. But Janine said, hey, I'll go alone. And
okay, I don't know about you guys, but do you do every single thing with one other person 24 hours a day? We all need things that are we can go and do other things with other people. And
Absolutely.
so that's what it is. Whatever it is,
Absolutely.
you can play hockey, you can go running, you can ride a bike. We need to have more interests than maybe our partner has or our friends.
Absolutely.
It's okay to have a different interest. Right.
And there are plenty of couples that the wife doesn't like to go somewhere.
Sure.
Or one of the partners doesn't like to go. Does that mean the other one can't go? No.
No.
And with smaller campers or
maybe they go once a year or twice a year.
More and more women drive pickup trucks now that 15 years ago or one generation ago, you never saw a woman in a pickup truck.
I mean, I feel like maybe the generation thing is, maybe a few more generations, but I would say that it's really hard. I don't think it's good for anyone to put anyone in a box. And the more that we can open everything up to everyone, the better that we all are.
Yep. But the more our media world.
Frank recommends down on the Cape, camping at Dunroman.
Yeah, it used to be Peter's Pond.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And
I think it's property.
I suspect Pauline is a girl camper, so she does our gang camps on Sandy Neck Beach. So incredibly awesome. Sticker and all manner of stuff.
Sandy Neck is awesome for sure. There's lots of places to go on the Cape that are fun.
Yeah, lots of women driving rigs. I agree.
Yeah,
Sandy Neck is the place that you drive out on the beach, and you have to lower the air in your tires, and you have to have a certain type of vehicle to do so.
Okay, so Michael puts in a family plug. My family loves to camp with John and Mary Beth. Well, that's nice, Michael. And Ed says,
trying to win that book.
I have been intrigued by Barbara Quinn driving an RV. Outstanding driver. Yes, she drives a big diesel pusher. Exactly.
Yeah.
Carol said, I love when I get looks towing my camper with my truck. Girl camper helps me camp with like-minded friends. Yeah, I'm always amazed when I see women pull into a campground and start to back up a trailer, whether they're by themselves or they've got the husband in the other seat.
All right, I'm just going to say one more thing here, guys.
Yes.
Men are not born with the ability to back up a trailer or an RV.
I have absolutely no ability to back up a trailer.
It's taught.
Right.
And women can be taught just like men are taught.
Oh, yeah. And I love it when they just, in one pass, they take a 36-foot fifth wheel and put it between two tight trees and still have just that 18 inches that they need for the slide room. You're right.
No, I mean, but the deal is that people are often surprised when women can do that. But you're not born with this ability. You're not born with any ability.
Yep. And you know what, Kim, I'm sure you'd agree, some of the campgrounds in New England were not built for units that were 35 feet long.
Also, by the way, some aren't built for 13-foot scamp trailers.
Right.
I just backed up my 13-foot scamp in a campground uphill backwards in a 45-degree angle that was ridiculous. So it's it's something we have to practice.
Is one of Jerry's other skills. He just gave driving lessons to a woman with a 45-foot American coach. And if you know anything about American coach at all, they probably don't sell anything under $650,000. So
yeah.
It's a
I like pull-throughs myself. I'm a big fan of pull-throughs. I
will never say no
to self-parking RVs around the corner. I hope not. I think self-driving vehicles are the stupidest thing humanity has ever designed. I wouldn't even do an evaluation on a self-driving RV. No logic to that at all. But they are playing around with it, Ed. There is one. There's one in Europe that I know about that's being tested right now, but it'll probably come. They got self-driving 18-wheelers, and I'm not sure I'd want to drive in front or behind or beside one of those either.
Yeah. Hey, couple quick things. I drove 1,550 miles from Worcester, Mass to Stuart, Florida, and got to the campground and found our campsite and was backing up to turn around, and the friend who sleeps with the generator on called me, and I went right into a tree. So,
So turn off your phone.
Right, turn off your phone. Right, and I was going like not even 1 mile an hour, backing up. Hello, whatever. And the other thing,
Don has just taken one of my favorite sayings, and people shake their head, but it is indeed harder to back up a shorter trailer than a longer one. And for those of you who are on tonight who do not know who Dawn Polk is, she's co-owner with Mark on RV Education 101, the nation's #1 consumer RV education company. And before she met her husband,
talk about breaking stereotypes.
Right. Yeah. This was when it was not. This is when they didn't even let women drive cars. Dawn had a CDL.
Stop.
And drove 18
she writes for Girl Camper magazine.
Oh, she did. She drove 18-wheelers and had a CDL license. She could back up anything this industry wants to throw at a woman.
Or anybody. A lighter trailer than heavy. What was the other thing? Oh, yeah. At Majors, they have a T-shirt that I don't know who wears it, but it says, "Sorry what I said to you when we were backing up the trailer." So, you still got a lot of
maybe you could get that for Michael or for McGee's there, so that he won't make a crash in threes anymore.
No, I don't go down there anymore. Hey,
right, Roy says we have a couple come to the shop where the husband drives here, then the wife has to back the camper into its spot.
I'm doing a little commercial here for the RV Life. See that? Can you read that?
Yeah, an unscheduled commercial.
Yeah, unscheduled. Show everybody what you're drinking.
Well, it's not in a coffee cup. That's for sure. It's called Jack.
Cold water. What do you got, Kim? Rosé.
Oh, another good point Pauline brings up. It is also more difficult to back up a lighter trailer than a heavy trailer. That's right. And Carol says, yep, backing up is tricky, but practice. It's like anything else. Right, Kim?
Absolutely. It's just practice.
Before you go, because we only got a couple minutes left here, like one, where do people get the book?
Oh, yeah. Schlep that book, Kim.
I'm gonna show it. What I will say to you is, first, if you have a local bookstore, if they don't have the book, ask them to get it. Support your local, privately owned bookstore.
All business, yep.
Definitely. And if you don't have one, you can't do it, then you can go to Reedy Press, REEDY press.com, get it from my publisher. And then as always, you can get it from the man at Amazon.
What's upcoming in New England for Girl Camper?
We are working on some fall stuff. I can't share anything yet, but we have the magazine coming out, and then we have our camperade coming up, which will be out west, which is too late because it's sold out. But we'll have a camperade on the East Coast next year, which we will announce soon. And then we keep growing, and we're having a good time. So just stay tuned. Girlcamper.com.
That's fantastic. Look, we appreciate you taking time. I know you've been busy and had a tough time pinning you down to a date because you were traveling to, was it Tahiti?
It was Tahiti, yeah.
Must be tough work, huh?
It's hard work.
Thanks for putting the light on for us, too.
Thank you so much for having me. It's always so much fun to be with you guys. I appreciate it.
All right.
We'll see you in Boston anyway.
Sorry?
We'll see you in Boston.
We'll see you in Boston.
Definitely.
We're going to have you and
I'll be at the RV travel show in January.
Yeah, that's what we mean.
You mean the Boston RV show?
Boston RV show. Sorry. Yes.
Boston, yeah, right. We're gonna have you do a seminar. We're gonna have Janine bring back some of her famous ones. People love her Factory to Fabulous, and she's fabulous and does a great job for Girl Camper. So we look forward to having you all back there. All right. Have safe travels, folks.
This show has been brought to you by Lee.
Where they do
Auto
that?
and RV Ranch in Ellington, Connecticut. It's family owned. They've been in business for 28 years. We'll be 29 soon. And if you want a locally owned company with real people that are all from the family, we got a father, daughter, cousins, uncles, aunts, everybody's related there. And you know what? They're just down the road. They're easily accessible off I-84 or off I-91. And tell them John and Bob sent you.
Okay, we're going to drive out of here, and we'll see you next Wednesday. Thanks, everybody.
This edition of RVing in New England was a presentation of the New England RV Dealers Association. Thanks for watching, and be sure to like us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram.